Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everything's going well for people. We are going back to Night Vale. We're going to visit our boy Cecil, see what he's up to, see what the town of Night Vale's up to, and have some fun. Enjoy ourselves. Have some laughs.
"This is a story about you," said the man on the radio, "and you were pleased, because you always wanted to hear about yourself on the radio. Welcome to Night Vale."
Like I said, well, that was a title drop there, so, you know, we got that going. Yeah, this music is... I like the music. Unfortunately, I have to either stop and pause or talk over the music because of however the copyright algorithm works.
This is a story about you. You live in a trailer out near the car lot next to old woman Josie's house.
Yes, you do.
Occasionally, she'll wave at you on her way out to get the mail or more snacks for the angels. Occasionally, you'll wave back. You're not a terrible neighbor as far as it goes.
But you're still a neighbor in Night Vale.
At night, you can see the red light blinking on and off on top of the radio tower, a tiny flurry of human activity against the implacable backdrop of stars and void. You'll sit
Stars and void, always uplifting.
out on the steps of your trailer with your back to the brightness of the car lot, watching the radio tower for hours.
Maybe.
But only sometimes. Mostly, you do other things. This story is about you.
Yeah, this is, I think this is one of my favorite episodes. If this is the one that I think it is, this is pretty hilarious.
You didn't always live in Night Vale. You lived somewhere else, where there were more trees, more water. You wrote direct mail campaigns for companies selling their products.
Yes, yes you did.
"Dear resident," you wrote often.
As every bit of junk mail that we get is you know, to the family, to, you know, insert name family here, or current resident.
Finally, some good news in this dreary world. At last, a reason not to kill yourself.
Okay, I can think of 100 reasons.
Then you would delete that and write something else, and it would be sent out, and it would not be read by anyone.
Yes, because they just throw it in the garbage, or it never got there. One of the three.
You had a friend, and then a girlfriend, and then a fiancé. The same person.
Hey, you know, that makes life a lot easier.
She cooked dinner sometimes, but sometimes you cooked. You
Actually, I enjoy cooking, to be honest with you.
often touched.
Yeah, long musical pause there.
One day you were walking from the glass box of your office to your old Ford Probe, and
Ford Probe. Is that even a real car? Huh, maybe. If you know for sure, let me know in the comments. It's not something that's interesting enough for me to actually try to look up.
a vision came to you. You saw above you a planet of awesome size.
Yeah, Well, planets tend to be fairly awesome in size.
Lit by no sun. An invisible titan, all thick black forests and jagged mountains and deep, turbulent oceans.
Oceans, yeah. I think someone might have been indulging in, certain things.
Oceans. It was so far away, so desolate, and so impossibly, terrifyingly dark.
Yeah. Things in space, if they're not lit by a burning ball of plasma, tend to be dark.
And that day, you did not go home. You drove instead. You drove a long time, and eventually, you ended up in Night Vale.
Yes, that is how we all got to Night Vale.
And you stopped driving. You have been haunted ever since by how easy it was to walk away from your life.
Yeah. Just the people that you walked away from may not be as, as understanding.
And how few the repercussions were. You never heard from your fiancé or your job again.
Which, all things considered, things could be a whole lot worse.
They never looked for you, which doesn't seem likely. Or maybe it's that in Night Vale you cannot be found.
Now, I can't even hold a straight face on that one. That is something of a possibility.
The complete freedom, the lack of consequence. It terrifies you.
Maybe.
You have a new job now. Every day except Sunday, you drive out into the sand wastes, and there you find 2 trucks. You move wooden crates from one truck to the other, while a man in a suit silently watches.
If it pays good, it pays good,
It is a different man each time. Sometimes the crates tick. Mostly they do not.
But mostly they do not. I guess I don't know if the ticking ones are a good thing or not.
When you are done, the man in the suit hands you an amount of cash, also different each time.
Well, it depends what's in the crates.
And you go home. It is the best job you've ever had. Except today, it was different.
Uh-oh.
You moved the crates. The man in the suit, a stranger, watched. But then, as had never happened before, the man in the suit received a phone call.
Uh-oh. That can't be good.
He walked off at some distance to take it. "Yes, sir," he said, and "No, sir." Also, he made hawk shrieking sounds. It wasn't terribly interesting.
I don't know. I may have been if it would have been me and not you, I may have been interested in it.
You moved crates. But then an awful impulse came over you.
Uh-oh. Those awful impulses.
And for no other reason than that you are trapped by the freedom to do anything in this life, you took one of the crates and put it in your trunk.
Hey, probably not the brightest thing to do in Night Vale, but
By the time the man came back from his phone call, you were done with your job. He gave you the money. It was nearly $500 today.
Hey, that's a good little bit of work, good little bit of money.
The second highest it had ever been. And you drove home with the crate in your trunk.
Uh-oh. This can't be good.
When you got home, You took the crate into your trailer and left it in the kitchen. The crate did not make a ticking sound.
Well, there's that. That's probably a good thing.
It made no sound at all. Nothing made a sound except you, breathing in and breathing out.
Now, that might be a little disconcerting.
You cooked dinner. You always cook dinner. The red light on the tower blinked on and off in your peripheral vision. A message that was there and then wasn't.
I just had to pause to laugh for a little bit. Okay.
And that you could never quite read. You wondered how long it would take them to miss the crate. You did not wonder who they were.
Because, I don't know.
Some mysteries aren't questions to be answered, but just a kind of opaque fact.
Okay. We got this opaque facts to deal with in life. Sounds like political jargon.
A thing which exists to be not known.
There's a logic and a philosophy in that somewhere. I haven't ciphered it out yet, but,
Which brings us to now, to this story. This story about you. You are listening to the radio.
Yes, I am.
The announcer is talking about you.
Yes, he is.
And then you hear something else. A guttural howl out of the desert distance.
That could be just about anything, and very few things would be good in Night Vale.
And you know that the crate's absence has been discovered.
Oopsies!
The crate. Well, it sits. That's all. On the kitchen floor. That's all. It's warm, warmer than the air around it. It smells sharp and earthy, like freshly ground cinnamon.
Might have some spice melange in there. Never know.
And when you put your ear against the rough, warm wood, you hear a soft humming, an indistinct melody.
Well, that rules out the spice melange, I guess.
It does not appear to be difficult to open. All you would need to do is remove a few nails.
And in normal people world, that would be very, very easy. But let's see what it entails in Night Vale.
You do not open it.
Uh-oh.
You decide, instead, to go to the Moonlight All-Night Diner and have a slice of pie.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
The wind is hot, like always, and smells like honey and mud.
Maybe. I can't put that smell together in my head.
Night is your favorite time.
Oh, yeah. Especially during the summer.
Daylight brings only a chain of visual sensations, none of which cohere into meaning for you anymore.
I've had lifetimes like that.
Life has become out of focus, free of consequence. As you drive, you turn off the headlights for...
Hey, we just had that experience in rabbits. So we may not want to be doing that, especially in Night Vale.
a moment. In that moment, you feel again, above you, not even far away now, that planet of awesome size, lit by no sun.
Once again, people.
An invisible titan, all thick black forests and jagged mountains and deep turbulent oceans. You see nothing but the faint moonlight on your dashboard.
Yeah, you know, you gotta have something somewhere.
But you know the planet is out there, yawning in the unseen spaces.
Parallel dimension, maybe?
The moment passes. You turn your headlights back on, and all you see is a road. Just asphalt. Just that. And you pass a man waving semaphore flags, indicating that the speed limit for this stretch is 45.
It gets back, that's a callback to one of, I can't remember what episode now, but that's a callback because one of the episodes they talk about that the police switching from street lights and street signs to the flag system.
The moonlight all night is radiant green. A
Sounds healthy.
slab of mint light in the warm darkness.
Yeah, that has to be real healthy.
You squint when you see it, like it hurts your eyes, but it does not hurt your eyes.
You just like squinting.
You park near the front door. A man rolls by on the ground, his eyes bleary and sightless, whispering
I got to laugh. I don't know why I found that amusing, but I did.
the word mudwomb over and over.
Nasty.
But you don't have the money to tip him, so you go inside. You order a slice of strawberry pie.
Hey, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had strawberry. I don't even know if you can make strawberry pie. I know you can do cherry, peach, and stuff like that. I know you can do cobbler with strawberries. That's interesting.
And the waitress indicates through words and movements that it will be brought to you presently.
Yeah, you know, they tend to do that.
The radio speaks soothingly to you from staticky speakers set into a foam tile ceiling.
Okay, that's kind of normal-ish. I'm waiting for the big Nightville twist.
It is telling a story about you. Your story, at last.
It's like Cecil just narrating whoever the you is just narrating their day to him. Well, with our past episodes with the contract negotiations and stuff like that and the city council and stuff, there's no telling.
A man slides into the booth across from you. You recognize him vaguely, although he looks considerably different now.
Oh, I just had to laugh. That's just... I've described things like that, though.
It is that man who appeared to be of Slavic origin, but who dressed in an absurd caricature of an Indian chief and called himself the Apache Tracker.
Ah, okay. We're getting back. I think, was that last episode, or was that in Wheat and Wheat Byproducts, or The Candidate? I can't remember. That it talks about he had a physical transformation.
Except now, it's difficult for you to miss. He has actually transformed into a Native American.
Dress for the race you want to be? I don't know. It's Nightville, so yeah, it's kind of crazy.
You wonder if the pie will get there soon. The Apache Tracker smells of potting soil and sweat.
Night gardening.
He leans across the table and touches your hand lightly.
Okay, that's not creepy at all.
You do not pull the hand away, because you know that there will be no consequence for any of this.
So, why are we doing this? I don't know.
Vivos post nostie, he says. Oni idiot. You nod. He taps the table. Then, bringing his thick eyebrows together and pursing his lips, he leans down and taps the ground. You nod again. I think my pie is here now.
This guy's speaking Russian to me and tapping the ground. Pie, quickly?
You say unnecessarily, as the pie is quite visibly placed in front of you. You did not order invisible pie. You hate invisible pie.
Yeah, it just kind of gets stuck in the throat sometimes.
He looks at the pie for a long time, and then lets his breath hiss out slowly through his nose.
That can't be good.
Oni prидет снизу. Pirogi не помогут.
I wonder if that's real Russian or not. I don't know. Could be. I don't know Russian, so it sounds like all the Cold War films that I watched growing up, but
He leaves. What an asshole that guy is.
I don't think Cecil, even though he's had a racial change, I don't know what to call it. Cecil doesn't seem to be real happy with him.
You finish the pie and ask for the check. Check, please.
Maybe it's just that quiet in there that you gotta whisper.
You say, whispering it into your drinking glass as is custom, and
Okay, there we go. It's custom.
then lifting the tray of sugar packets to find it, filled out and ready to be paid.
Hey, they need to get that magic technology or whatever it is. They need to get that nationwide, because that'll make getting checked out of a restaurant a whole lot easier.
You drop a few dollars onto the check, place it back under the sugars, wait for the sound of swallowing, and leave the diner.
Okay, don't know what any of that has to do with the check, but it probably has something to do with it.
The waitress nods as you leave, but not at you. She nods slowly and rhythmically, to music only she can hear, her eyes riding the curved line of neon lights above the menu.
And, once again,
as you start the car, the man on the radio says something about the weather.
And we will pause here. Just a reminder that the groups and the music are worth checking out. A lot of them are on Bandcamp. If you go and you listen to these, I'm listening to it for this video on the Audible app through Amazon. But in the things below, there are a whole lot of links to different places to find. Welcome to Night Vale, and I encourage you to go listen to it on your own without my commentary. It is well worth it. So, let's do our pause and come back after the weather. Okay, we are back after the weather. Let's get back into this.
Thank you.
The crate is in your kitchen, where you left it, and you get down on your knees to embrace it more fully.
Oh, the crate. Why are we embracing it? Why haven't we opened it? Why haven't you opened it?
It has grown warmer, even hot.
That can't be good.
It still is not ticking.
Well, that's a plus. I don't know.
It had taken you no time to get back home. Now that you think about it, were there any other cars on the road?
Uh-huh. Something to keep in mind. Especially when we got certain things in play.
Where did all the cars go? The man with the semaphore flags explaining the speed limit, he wasn't there either.
Uh-oh.
Your heart pounds. Without allowing another stray thought to wander through your mind and delay you, you grab the crate and throw it in your trunk.
I guess that's a good move.
You turn the ignition and your car radio comes alive with a pop, just as the announcer says that your car radio comes alive with a pop.
Is that the pause for the laugh on that one?
Where to now? You don't know, but you go there anyway. A pair of headlights, a pair of eyes, and two shaky hands speeding through the silent town.
Yeah, I guess people in Nightville got to sleep sometime.
Behind you, you see helicopter searchlights sweeping down onto your trailer. There are sirens. A purplish cloud hangs over the town, glittering occasionally as it rotates. The
yeah.
whole works. You drive past the moonlight all night, still aglow and full of people slowly eating what sounds good only late at night.
Yeah. Eating things that only sound good late at night. That is other chemical compounds.
And Teddy Williams' Desert Flower Bowling Alley and Arcade Fun Complex, which has taken to not only locking, but barricading its doors at closing time.
It's kind of extreme, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
You pass by City Hall, which, as always, is completely shrouded after dark in black velvet.
City Hall going to be City Hall. That's just, they're going to do their own thing.
Moving farther out, following the pull of the distant, uncertain moon, you pass by the car lot, where the salesmen have been put away for the night.
Put away like leftovers.
And old woman Josie's house, where the only sign that the unassuming little home could be a place of residence for angels is the bright halo of heavenly light surrounding it.
Well, you gotta see signs where you see signs.
And the sign out front that says Angels Residence.
Well, that's probably a giveaway, at some point.
And the town is behind you, and you are out in the scrublands and the sand wastes. By the road, you see a man holding a cactus in one hand and a pair of scissors in the other.
I don't know what to say.
He shakes both at you as you pass and howls.
Okay, sounds like driving past a frat house in Huntsville.
And then you are alone. Just you and the desert.
And the man on the radio.
You stop the car and get out. Pebbles crunch in the sand in response to your movement.
Yeah, they tend to do that.
The radio murmurs behind the closed doors of the car. The headlights illuminate only a few stray plants, and the wide, dumb eyes of some nocturnal animal.
In Nightville, that could be very, very bad.
Looking back, you see the bulge of light that is your night veil.
Yeah.
The purple cloud, now floating over the heart of the city, reaches its tendrils in and out of buildings.
Not concerning at all.
You hear screams and gunfire.
Probably another Tuesday night Nightville, but you know.
You open the trunk and lay one hand on the crate. It pulses with some kind of life. Still no ticking, though.
Hey, you know, as long as it's not ticking, we're good to go.
You look back. Several buildings are on fire. Crowds of people are floating in the air, held aloft by beams of light, and struggling feebly against power they cannot begin to understand.
Like I said, this could be something extraordinary, or it could be just another Tuesday night in Nightville.
The ground shifts like it was startled.
No, we call those earthquakes in the rest of the world.
It's so quiet when it finally comes. You see the black car long before it arrives. It comes to a halt nearby and two men step out. You don't run. Neither do they.
Standoff, maybe?
How did you find me? You ask. Everything you do is being broadcast on the radio for some reason.
You know, it is what it is.
That made it pretty easy, says one of the men, the one that isn't tall.
Is he short, though?
Yeah, you say. I see that now. You have the item? The man who is not tall asks. You say nothing.
Because you have it.
The man who is not tall signals the man who is not short, and he walks past you, looks into your trunk, and nods.
That's got like Pulp Fiction vibes to me.
Even easier, says the man who is not tall. There is an unexpected click. One of the rear doors of the black car has opened, and your fiancée has stepped out.
Okay, that could be bad.
Her eyes are wet, like it was the night you left. She does not appear to have aged, but then you can't actually remember how long it has been.
So, yeah, you know.
Could it have been last week? Or was it 10 years ago?
Yeah, once again, guilty. I've had lifetimes like that.
Why? She says. Why? Why? You don't know what to say.
I imagine being confronted like that, you would be pretty speechless.
The man who is not short steps up to you, puts a knife against your throat.
That's not a good thing to have happen.
Nobody says anything. Your fiancée
Except for the man on the radio.
shakes her head. Her eyes are empty, broken, gushing. The radio is saying all of this as it happens. You hear it dimly through the car door.
Yeah.
You can't stop smiling. All at once, the consequences. All at once, you are no longer free. It's all coming back around, all at once.
What comes around goes around.
Life bleary, washed out, snaps back into focus. The red light on the tower still blinks in the distance, and every message in this world has a meaning.
I imagine it depends on how hard you look for the meaning.
It all makes sense, and you are finally being punished. You can't think of a time you have ever been happier.
You know, people are going to be people.
Your fiancé abruptly gets back into the car. Neither of the men seem to notice her. One opens the crate with a couple quick taps and pulls out of it an intricate miniature house.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
The hours that must have been spent building it. Every detail is accounted for. Inside the house, you think. You see for a moment lights and movement.
Yeah.
Undamaged, says the man who is not tall. You beam at him. The knife presses harder against your throat, but it doesn't hurt.
You know, might be a dull knife. Might be a reason why it's a dull knife.
Your eyes wander up, and you see above you the dark planet of awesome size, perched in its sunless void, an invisible titan, all thick black forests and jagged mountains and deep, turbulent oceans.
Yeah. Yeah, today is not your day.
A monster, spinning, soundless, forgotten.
There could be worse things.
It's so close now. You see it just above you. Maybe even if you tried very hard, you could
touch it. Probably not.
Touch it. You reach up.
All right. Long music pause. Don't know.
This has been your story. The radio moves on to other things. News, traffic, political opinions, and corrections to political opinions. But there was time, one day, one single day, in which it was only one story. A story about you. And you were pleased because you always wanted to hear about yourself on the radio.
Yep. And this is the way they do it.
Good night, Night Vale. Good night.
That was a fun episode. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't the one that I thought it was. There's a couple coming up. I remember the next one is The Man in the Tan Coat. Then we have one called Street Cleaning Day and Phone Call. Somewhere in there, I think one of the ones that I really, really just laughed out loud all the way through is coming up. I don't know if it's midway through this season or midway through next season, but it is what it is. So, with all that being said, remember, be a good human, be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?